This video is brought to you by patreon.com/worsttake. Get access to exclusive live streams and Discord servers, on-screen shoutouts, and early access to some videos when you join now. Help make sure that we can continue to make content like this by supporting the Patreon. Links are in the description down below. Football is one of the easiest games to become a prisoner of the moment, especially with the quarterback position. It's easy to see a team have success around the quarterback and believe that it's all about the quarterback because that's kind of what we have made it seem like it's about. But rarely is that the case. Well, today I have what I believe to be one of the worst quarterback rankings list I've ever seen. It's from Pro Football Network. They tweeted this out. I saw it while I was on sportsforcleveland.com. And then I read the article. And honestly, I was reading the article because the list was so bad that I felt like there was some obvious context that I was missing. I want to be fair. And then I read the article, and I'm going to be real with you, it made less sense where they rank certain people. Now, we already know Deshaun Watson's probably going to be ranked low on this list. I know for a fact he is because I've seen this list. That's not even my main gripe about it, right? Because at this point, I know what's happening. You don't like Deshaun Watson because of his off the field stuff. So you deciding you're going to punish him by lying about the on the field stuff. Okay. You're going to take it in your hands to do that. There's obvious consequences to doing that. I think even if you're somebody, I've said this multiple times, if you're somebody who does not like Deshaun Watson, if you morally object to Deshaun Watson's NFL career, it does not benefit you or the argument that you're trying to push to sit here and lie about him or lie to yourself about him, right? Because a lot of this is, I don't like him. I'm going to see everything he does in the worst way possible. And then I'm going to confirm with myself that that is the truth when it's not. It's obviously not. But this is where we're at. I try to tell people every day, it does not benefit you to lie about how good or not good a player is. It doesn't change the fact that that player is not good, whether you lie about it or not. But this is the list. I'm put up right here. Let y'all look at it for a sec. Now, at first glance, okay, some of this makes sense. Pat Mahomes, number one. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, Joe Burrow, number two. All right. Josh Allen, number three. Okay. Justin Herbert, number four. That's a little high for Justin Herbert, in my opinion. I don't think he's really done anything that puts him in that caliber. Especially if we're gonna use Lamar Jackson's postseason failures as a reason to put him at 7. Then how do you not use Justin Herbert and Dak Prescott's postseason failures against them? Justin Herbert, wait. Trevor Lawrence beat him. He threw 5 interceptions in a half. I'm just saying, if that happens to anybody else, I feel like if that happens to Lamar Jackson, we put Lamar Jackson like at 30 on the list, just be hating on him. But okay, Justin Herbert, number 4. That's not egregious, though. Like, people have that opinion. Jalen Hurts at 5, not egregious. Dak Prescott at 6, man. How do we keep doing this with Dak, dog? How do we, every year, we do this with Dak, where we convince ourselves, and I've been part of the dude convincing himself, oh, Dak's going to be this and that. And then he ends up being Dak, which is pretty good, but not that great. Honestly, not that different than Kirk Cousins. And Kirk Cousins is not a bad quarterback. He's a pretty good quarterback. But that's what he is. He's pretty good. That's what Dak is. He's not top 10. He's not top 6. He's definitely not bad. I would not rather have him than Lamar Jackson. I would not rather have Jalen Hurts than Lamar Jackson. I do think Lamar Jackson is a bit underrated on this list. I can see where you could want Justin Herbert over Lamar, even though me personally, I wouldn't take it. I can see where you could say Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson. I would rather have him. Same thing, obviously, Pat Mahomes, obviously Joe Burrow. But I think Lamar's a little underrated on this list. Y'all know how I feel about Trevor Lawrence if you watch Q and Cove. If you're not watching Q and Cove, subscribe down the link below. Check us out. But if you watch Q and Cove, you know how I feel about Trevor Lawrence. Long story short, I think he's highly overrated. I just do. You look at what Trevor Lawrence actually did and what people are talking about him like he did. We do this thing when we want somebody to be good, whether they've proved that they're that good or not. The second they're decent, we want to catapult these dudes into a certain position that they don't belong with. Trevor Lawrence last year had 25 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Pretty good. He had some rushing touchdowns there as well. I don't want to forget them, but they're just not available at a glance right now. But he had a pretty good year last year. You know who else had a pretty good year like that before? Baker Mayfield. Like, sometimes dudes have pretty good years and it doesn't mean that they're primed to be top 10 quarterbacks. That's what I'm saying. The second a young quarterback has a pretty good year, we don't got to go ahead and try to make them top 10 quarterbacks. But this is the trap we fall in. We do this every year. And then when somebody says something against it, they're wrong. But oftentimes at the end of the day, they be right. But we just talk about Trevor Lawrence here. Tua at 9 is crazy, man. Come on, dog. Like, I can't be the only one that thinks Tua at 9? There are only 8 quarterbacks you would rather have than Tua? Oh, come on, man. Let's be for real. Like, let's be for real. Tua's not that good. He's all right. He's not that good. But 8 quarterbacks, only Tua at 9. If for those of you who are going to argue against me that Tua is all this and that, tell me one thing Tua Tagovailoa does better than what's his name? Damn it. And for those of you who are going to vehemently argue with me down in the comment section that Tua is all this great quarterback and everything else like that. All right, man. Tell me physically what separates Tua Tagovailoa from Teddy Bridgewater. They're not that different. It's just Tua got a little bit. Tua with the Alabama. Tua was an early first round pick, and Tua had more hype coming out of college, but they're pretty much the same player. Geno Smith at 10. I'm going to let him have his moment. Aaron Rodgers at 11. Look, I'm low on Aaron Rodgers. I'm not that low on Aaron Rodgers. You put him next to Kirk Cousins. That's crazy. Kirk Cousins at 12. And I think Kirk Cousins is properly labeled. Like, that's where Kirk Cousins exists. 12 to 16. That's where he exists. Daniel Jones at 13. Come on, y'all. Be for real. Daniel Jones. To be for real. I mean, I know somebody gonna argue for it, but no. Derek Carr at 14, I guess. Jimmy Garoppolo at 15 is egregious, man. Like, you realize putting Jimmy Garoppolo at 15 and Brock Purdy is at 23. Do they not realize that the 49ers got better when Brock Purdy became the starting quarterback over Jimmy Garoppolo? Like, the 49ers, like, legitimately got better the second Jimmy Garoppolo left, and we still finding ways to overrate Jimmy Garoppolo. He can't stay on the field. When he's on the field, nobody trusts him to actually throw the football. He's just been lucky enough to be on good teams his entire life and win games because he's on good teams, and we still think he good. He got hurt. The Mr. Irrelevant rookie year came in to play quarterback for the 49ers, and they got better on offense versus having Jimmy Garoppolo, and we still putting him at 15. Come on. This is why this list sucks, by the way. The Jimmy Garoppolo ranking is why this list sucks. The shot, that's unfortunately normal. People just lying about it, but Jimmy Garoppolo at 15 is crazy. Kyler Murray at 6. Look, I'm low on Kyler Murray. I ain't that damn low on Kyler Murray. Put him below Jimmy Garoppolo. Nuts. Justin Fields at 17, I guess. Ryan Tannehill at 18 and Jared Goff at 19. I feel like those two should probably be at like 14 and 15 respectively. And you should probably flip Derek Carr to 16 and put Kyler Murray at 13 and then throw Daniel Jones to like 14 or 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 15. 19 or something like that. Whichever way it works out. Jacoby Brissett at 20. It's funny now they respect Jacoby Brissett, but boy, oh boy, were they acting like it would be a disaster if he had to start a football game when he was on the Browns. Kenny Pickett at 21. That's just LOL. That Jacoby Brissett is ranked higher than Kenny Pickett. That's funny to me. But I guess Mac Jones at 22, Brock Purdy at 23, Jordan Love at 24. Desmond Ridder at 25, Deshaun Watson at 26, which, yes, if you are listening to this correctly, Pro Football Network thinks that Desmond Ridder, Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, Mac Jones, Kenny Pickett, Jacoby Brissett, Jared Goff, Ryan Tannehill, Justin Fields, Kyler Murray, Jimmy Garoppolo, Derek Carr, Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins. They're all better than Deshaun Watson. Matthew Stafford at 27, Russell Wilson at 28. They think Russell Wilson is going to be the worst veteran quarterback in the NFL, not named Baker Mayfield. If Baker Mayfield starts, Baker Mayfield 29. By the way, they got, it's funny though, right? They got Baker Mayfield at 29. But remember all the criticism we took for trading for Deshaun Watson because we already had Baker Mayfield. Why would we do such a thing? Why would we do? It's funny how they don't give us that one back. It's funny how they don't give us that one back. You know what I mean? They only give us the criticism. They don't ever give us the retraction. It's funny to me. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm not into conspiracy theories, right? But let's read the article because that's why I was thinking, man, this list is so bad, dog, that the article got to be better, right? There has to be some context that I was sorely missing. Let me give this man a chance, or man or woman a chance, whoever wrote this article, a chance, right? So I went back and looked at it, and, you know, they got these tiers on the article, right? So, you know, number 1, number 2, number 3, that's the elite. Okay, cool. Tier 1 elite. I ain't tripping on all that. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes. If that's who you think's elite, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to necessarily agree with you, but hey, you know, it's a list, your list. Then this next tier, they got Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Dak, Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence, Tua, franchise signal callers. Now, I would argue if Tua has deserved that status yet. I would seriously argue whether Trevor Lawrence has proven that he has that standing yet. But, you know, hey, look, that's where they at. Right. Lamar Jackson, obviously a franchise signal caller. Dak Prescott, as much as I disagree with him, I don't mind that clarification with him, right? That categorization with him. All right, let's go to this next tier of quarterbacks, 10, 11, and 12. So Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers. This is more disrespectful. I know you put them in the same group. Damn, Aaron. Why are they doing you like that? All right. But yeah, they put, this is the above average tier. Kirk Cousins, I would say, yeah, above average is right where I would put him, like slightly above average. Again, I think there's a distinction between a Kirk Cousins and a Geno Smith and a Dak Prescott versus like Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? I'm not high on Aaron Rodgers, but damn. Then you have 13, Daniel Jones, Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo, Kyler Murray, Justin Fields, Ryan Tannehill, Jared Goff, Jacoby Brissett, Kenny Pickett, Mac Jones. Useful but limited is the 4th tier. I would argue that this probably shouldn't be the 4th tier. This to me seems like the bottom tier, right? Like when you're the useful but limited, that's pretty much like, unless you are just not an NFL quarterback, and if this is your quarterback situation, then this is not good. Like if you hired Josh McCown to be your quarterback back in the day, he would be in useful but limited. You would have one of the worst quarterback situations in the NFL, but he's useful but limited, right? Like I think this tier is a little bit too high. I think we out here showing too much love to mediocre. All right, this next tier. Like if the way I want to clarify this, if I'm an NFL franchise, I would rather have the unknown quantity than the useful but limited guy. Right? I would rather have the X factor. This dude could be good or bad than the useful but limited guy. So I think that tier should probably be at the bottom. Then they have Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, Desmond Ridder, the unknown commodities. I feel like there's one unknown commodity here. Well, you could say Jordan Love's an unknown commodity because literally we don't know what he can do, but I would put him in with the rest of the rookie quarterbacks because we haven't seen him play. But Desmond Ridder, like, we know what that is. We know what that is. He's going to be at best useful but limited. At best. Brock Purdy, I don't know. Legitimately, I have no idea what Brock Purdy's going to be. But Desmond Ridder, come on, dog. Come on, dog. And honestly, with Jordan Love, like, if it was going to be what we thought, like, if it was going to be anything crazy with him, we would not have waited this long to see Jordan Love play football. Let me promise you that. They would have traded Aaron Rodgers after one of them MVPs, and they thought Jordan Love was out here cooking it because they did that to Brett. Let's see. This is concerning. Tier 6 concerning. They got Russ here. They got Matt Stafford here. They got Deshaun Watson here. I honestly would throw all three of these guys in unknown commodities if you just weren't high on them. Like, I understand not ranking Deshaun Watson super high right now, but concerning, I wouldn't consider it that, because you have these two dudes, Russell Wilson and Matt Stafford, who used to be good, that are playing a little off or weren't what they were because they're injured and they're older. Deshaun Watson's not old. Deshaun Watson's 27. That's a big distinguishing factor between these two that I think a lot of people are choosing to ignore because, again, they're not necessarily operating in a real charitable space with him. So 28, the Broncos quickly attempted to correct the mistakes. It might not be enough intriguing story to NFL season. Wilson is practicing the antithesis of Drew Brees as quarterback. Peyton didn't spend much. So they're wondering if that's going to work with him and Sean Payton. Same thing with Matt Stafford. And then Deshaun Watson, they say here, just a few seasons ago, Deshaun Watson would have been battling for the spot in the elite tier. Unfortunately, quite a bit has changed over the last few years. And the Browns front office has to be nervous about the extortionate dog. He can't keep his bias out this article. The extortionate? You mean the contract he negotiated for? Extortionate. Like he held Jimmy Haslam at gunpoint or had dirty pictures of Jimmy Haslam and said, give me all that money right now. That's what they're calling the contract. Don't nobody in this list got their contract described like that. But Deshaun Watson, extortionate. Extortion. Just say you don't like him. You don't gotta do this. This is more concerning when you do stuff like extortionate. He legally negotiated his contract without threatening to hold out, without threatening to not go somewhere, without threatening to use his no trade clause. He just negotiated a $230 million guaranteed contract for himself. What are you talking about? Extortionate. Extortionate. Listen for these small little things, man. Like, these are the things that give you that tell you where people are operating out of. Extortionate, that's not a proper way to describe that contract unless you're mad about something else. Extortionate. Get out of here, dog. All right. It has been a very long time since Watson has played football. He took the field in week 12. That's what they say. Week 12. You know what I mean? Shout out to week 12. Rust was always going to be a factor in his 2022 performance, but he was underwhelming, even relevant to muted expectations. Additionally, it did not appear as if the rust was being buffed out towards the end. What does that even freaking mean? What does it mean? He had like if the season ended against that game in Washington where he had 3 touchdowns in the second half, would the rust be any different because he went out on a good game instead of like going out on a Met game versus Pittsburgh? Like, for real. Like, would you rank, like, that's what it's worth. If Deshaun Watson just decided not to play that last game of the season, went out on that 3 touchdown performance versus Washington, all of a sudden you're not ranking him at 26 because it looked like the rest was being buffed out. Like, that don't mean nothing. That's just the order in which he had good games. Goodness gracious. But while his performance was a concern, we all know the latent ability he possesses and could pop back up and the Browns could be an AFC contender. But you put him in concerning because he got an extortionate contract. Come on, dog. Come on, man. Like, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. We really don't gotta do this. You don't gotta lie. You don't gotta lie about it. If you don't like them, just say you don't like them and move on. But when you do stuff like this, you force me to react to it. You force me to look into what you're actually doing and reading the language of what you're doing and then calling it out for what it is. Bullshit. And you make yourself look bad. Dalton Miller, this is what happens. You don't got to lie about it. You really don't. If you think Deshaun Watson should not be in the NFL, just state that up front. I am not a fan of him off the field, and I refuse to give him any more credit than what is undeniable about his play. So as of right now, he's 26, or I'm just going to refuse to rank him. I wouldn't mind that. Like, just be honest about what you feel. But you're trying to lie to us, tell us that you're being like unbiased when we know that like bias is just inherent. And maybe you're lying to yourself about your bias, but it's dripping. It's dripping in your article. It's dripping here, dog. Come on. Desmond Ridder, like you're going to tell me with a straight face, you would start Desmond Ridder over Lamar Jackson. You would rather be in a situation where you got Desmond Ridder or Jordan Love or Brock Purdy versus Deshaun. Be for real. Ask Atlanta if they would want that, because they don't want that. They didn't want that. They almost paid for Deshaun Watson too. What are we doing? What are we doing? Also, Jimmy Garoppolo at 15. Come on, dog. Come on. Come on, man. You know that ain't true. You know he not better than Brock Purdy. San Francisco know he ain't better than Brock Purdy. Kyle Shanahan know he not better than Brock, but come on, man. Come on, man. Why? All right, that's that quarterback ranking list. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Everybody have a great day. Have a good night.